Hallo, willkommen zu Lonestar. Wir spielen Star Trek Resurgence. Wir sind in diesem Vault. Hallo, Compañeros. Und jetzt schauen wir mal, was sich hier drin verbirgt. Was ist in diesem Arsenal?
Spread out. Let's see what we can find. And stay on high alert. You don't know where the Takan that beamed down here could be.
Ja, man sollte lieber zusammenbleiben.
You will need my help, Commander.
How so?
Traversal here is trivial for a Takan, but only a Takan. When you come across a device you cannot use, merely call my name.
Will do. Thank you.
Investigate the vault. Können wir mit ihm gleich mal sprechen?
Do you know what this place was used for?
It feels familiar, but I'm not certain. The Empire was vast. I did not know every corner of it, and much was built after I became a portal. However, Takan would not build such a place without something precious to protect.
Whatever that is, we have to find it before Galvin does.
Ja, es fragt sich aber, ob die anderen das nicht schon mitgenommen haben. Ey, tut mir echt leid, dass wir dir nicht sagen konnten, dass der Captain Solano übernommen wurde, aber wir durften ja nur einem Bescheid sagen. Und da war ich beim Technical Officer doch viel besser aufgehoben. Außerdem sah ich bei ihr die größten Chancen, trotz der Verletzung, dass sie das irgendwie einsehen kann.
This pattern resembles the transporter device Petty Officer Maris used to escape the Resolute. Portal 6-3?
You wish to make use of this device?
It's a transporter of some kind?
It allows Takan to move through space instantly a short distance. Very convenient. I will activate the system for you.
Dabei kann er das ja eigentlich auch ohne.
Where does it go?
I'm not sure. The markings here must be from after my time.
Well, only one way to find out.
Ja, wir gehen erstmal in den anderen Gang. Lauft nicht zu weit auseinander. Ah ja.
I should look elsewhere.
Ja, dann hoffen wir, dass der anderen nichts passiert.
Portal? What is that void down there?
Space, folded upon itself. A fairly simple concept.
For a Takan, perhaps?
I advise against falling in.
Ja, wenn der Raum nicht tief genug ist, wird man sich noch extra Space reinfalten. Links, rechts? Ja, wir gehen mal links. Ja, ja, jetzt kommen die anderen wieder hinterher. Use your tricorder to collect data.
soil. Just soil. It's not from this planet, nor any planet in the Federation database.
Soil from a planet not recorded in the Federation database requires further investigation. Tacon console contains vast amounts of Taconian data, contents unable to be translated. Extremely high particle density, impossible with current Starfleet technology.
Why is this here?
This is soil from the homeworld. Our capital system. This isn't an arsenal. It's a temple of the ancients. Sacred ground to the Tacon. I took my oath as a guardian of the Empire in a place just like this. I cannot imagine the look of pride in my parents' eyes as they said goodbye. Forever. Sorry. This is the first I've seen of anything new from the Tacon Empire in a very long time. I'm sure you're familiar with the feeling. That sense of loss. I thought I was ready for it, but it cuts to the core of your being.
I totally understand that feeling. It's unavoidable and inescapable no matter what you do.
Yes, it's that distant but familiar feeling that's forever just out of reach.
Can you use this to find out more about what Galvin is after?
Hätten wir das besser machen können?
The information's encrypted. I can only discern that it's a warship. No. It's the Aphelion. Perhaps the most powerful Taconian ship ever built. I can't access the full file, but looking through the ship's schematics, it appears to be equipped with some sort of experimental, highly advanced transporter technology.
Transporter technology? For what?
Captain, you better come see this.
Ja, ich liebe solche Meldungen. Ihr solltet euch das ansehen. Ich sag euch nicht was, aber schaut's euch an. Descent. Hä? Ah, hier, Treppe runter.
There are more up ahead.
From the looks of it, I'd say someone left in a hurry.
Probably right around the time we showed up.
Ja, das sind alles solche Speicher.
I've seen these before. In the other vault. And if all of those are the same as this, then there must be...
Hundreds of millions. if not billions. All that remains of the Tekon civilization.
Wurden alle eingetütet?
Encapsulated in crystalline form. Preserved for all eternity.
You thought this was an arsenal. And in a way, you're right. This is how they rebuild the Tekon Empire and bioform billions of innocent people.
That seems to be the case. What you have to understand is, these life forms were preserved for the benefit of the Tekon civilization, as a means of safeguarding the health and well-being of any Tekon, should they fall prey to illness or injury. They were never intended to be used for this purpose.
There you are wrong. This was always their purpose, to restore the glory that was lost. Congratulations on your first victory in battle, Captain Rydek. You killed a great many of my compatriots, some that I've known for millennia.
Naja, aber dann nur eingetütet.
Are you proud of how much death you've caused?
Ja, ihr habt ja angefangen.
Tekon life is precious, irreplaceable. Centuries of knowledge and culture, lost with each one you murder.
I was protecting my crew. It's regrettable to take any life. But when someone threatens galactic civilization, force is the correct response.
And I suppose it worked. For now. Thankfully, I don't have to convince you of anything. We'll all be on the same side soon enough.
You can't just bioform whoever you want. Not without a fight.
Ah, but that's just it. There won't be a fight. In fact, most won't even know what's happened. One minute you're standing there as you. The next you're standing here as one of us.
He's talking about mass transformation. That's what the Aphelion was built for.
The transporter. It'll reconstitute your DNA and bioform you into a Tekon in the blink of an eye. This is what they'll use as ammunition.
In a manner of speaking, yes. Of course, that's the simple version. But the end result will be the same.
You're talking about a crime against sentient life on a mass scale.
Or an evolutionary process where the strongest and most capable survive. The Aphelion is on its way here as we speak. Now it's only a matter of time. You can't delay that which is inevitable. Which makes your next decision fairly simple, brother. You are, after all, a portal.
I am.
Your sole purpose is to serve as a guardian of the Tekon Empire. But you stand here surrounded not by your fellow Tekon, but by members of the Federation. By people who deny our fundamental right to exist. You swore an oath to protect the Empire. And I can only assume that's why you're here.
There is only one true Tekon here, and that's Portal. You're a scion, a disgrace to the memory of the Tekon, brought back through unnatural means.
I only tolerate your presence so long as you continue to amuse me. Which side are you on?
Muss er sich
Captain
wirklich
Rydek,
aussuchen?
long-range sensors suggest a massive spacecraft approaching in the distance.
The time has come. I hope we speak again, brother.
Estimated time to contact, 6 minutes and counting.
We can't stay here. We have to get back to the ship.
And we have to preserve these souls. We must take them back to your ship.
Those crystals are ammunition to be used against us. We have to destroy them. Bombard the site from orbit.
I'll decide once we're safely aboard the Resolute. For to transport.
Okay, sind wir wieder oben. Weiß auch nicht, was man jetzt machen sollte.
You have to hear me out, Captain. I lost my eyes because of you. I committed mutiny for you. But if you bring those things on board, I'll have no choice but to resign.
If they're taken to the Ophilia, they will be forced into new bodies, brought back to life in a way they never asked for.
They're not living beings, but they're still dangerous. And if you don't make decisions to protect us, we're gonna end up like Solano. You, me, the entire crew. We're all next.
Ja, was meinen die anderen dazu? Was meint Spock?
2 minutes and counting. It's headed straight toward the vault. The Aphelion is coming into view now, Captain.
On screen.
Arrival at the second vault in less than a minute.
I would remind you, those life forms are Takon, not science. Takon, they're not your enemy.
Right or wrong, history will judge you for this moment.
Ja, ich weiß nicht, warum sie die alle zerstören will. Wir können sie nicht einfach zerstören. Sie könnten ihr Leben sein. Und das ist sehr Star Trek-y, dass
Transport
man
the
sie
storage crystals
hochbeamen.
aboard the Resolute.
Ja, das wird wohl
Did I hear that?
dir nicht gefallen.
That's an order.
Dann haben die auch wenigstens keine Munition mehr. Und wir können
The
später
storage
immer noch
crystals
gucken,
are
was wir
on
damit
board
machen.
in our cargo bay.
Thank you. I won't forget this.
Ja, die anderen auch nicht.
I hope you realize what you've done. We don't need another captain who's gonna risk our lives just to feed their ego. This ship and this crew come first.
Lieutenant,
She has to hear it.
This isn't about me. It's our duty as Starfleet officers to protect life, wherever and however we find it. And I couldn't let them fall into Galvin and Sidron's hands. I had to do it this way.
And to think, I used to look up to you.
Ja,
the
sorry.
Aphelion is targeting us, approaching rapidly.
They hit us with that bioforming ray, and it's over. Maximum warp. Get us out of here.
Where, Captain?
Anywhere but here. Now!
Homecoming.
There they are!
Ja, Miranda ist nicht da.
Thank you. I'm not sure one of my kind would have done for you what you did for me. I did not expect a show of mercy. I hoped, but you could have just as easily left me to my fate.
See, that's just one of the differences between Starfleet and you. Scions of the Flame. Our mission is to help when we can, even if that means helping our enemies.
There is honor in that.
Now that we're safe on your ship, I think you were right to bring her. Things seem a little different now than they did in the heat of battle. There's more than one way to deal with messy situations.
You're not mad that I didn't release Itasca from her situation?
After all the trials we'd survived, maybe there's more room to hope for Itasca than I'd thought.
Ja, sehr schön.
Oh, no surprises here. But your shoulders separated. If you come with me to sickbay, we can get you fixed up in no time.
Thank you. I'll find you afterwards.
You two, check in at your stations. This thing isn't over yet.
Na, das ist doch schön, dass sie wieder an Bord sind.
She was a good little escape pod. Not that I want another ride like that anytime soon.
Sind die immer noch mit dem gleichen Problem beschäftigt wie wir am Anfang? Aber mit Miranda ist natürlich noch schlecht.
You're really making us proud out there, Diaz. The lower decks don't get a lot of glory.
Well, I'm just getting started.
Allerdings. Ah, hier ist ein Transporter.
Hey, Diaz.
Yeah?
Did you see our people over there? Miranda?
Kapoor, Hauser?
We saw Miranda and Kapoor, but they're bioformed. And as far as I know, there's no way to undo it.
That means they're not our friends anymore.
If they attack us?
We'll have to stop them. No matter what it takes.
Yeah. I guess we have to be ready for that.
Wollen wir nicht ein bisschen Optimismus verbreiten? Das haben wir doch bisher immer gemacht.
Tell me, did any crew from the Zelti survive?
Well, since the Lydian ships have no escape pods, I think it was just us.
I see. I thought so. I had a partner on board. After this mission, she and I were meant to... Doesn't matter. All that matters now is making the Tikhon pay for what they've done.
We'll stop them. I promise.
Naja, da müssen wir uns aber noch gut anstellen. Bis jetzt haben wir nicht so viel geleistet. Haben wir alles? Ich glaube schon.
I can't believe it, but I'm actually looking forward to seeing Chobak. Not that I'd expect this kind of welcome from him, but I can just imagine the look on his face.
You know what? I want to see him too. It'll be nice to get one piece of normalcy.
I'm sure we can count on him for that.
Ja.
I can't believe it. You evaded the Tikhon, ejected their warp cores, and lived to talk about it.
That about sums it up.
They're gonna be teaching this at the Academy for years to come. I mean it. Everybody's gonna learn how you pulled it off.
When they do, make sure they get my name right. D-I-A-Z. Diaz. Edsalars too.
I'm sure no one will forget.
Man kann mal ein bisschen rumprahlen.
I heard about Belle. Is Miranda?
As far as we know, she's still out there.
Well, I know Captain Rydek will do her best to get her back.
Hold on. Rydek? What about Captain Solano?
He was turned into a Tikhon. Rydek had to take over. She's a hell of an officer, but none of us have been up against anything like this. No one has. Not in 500,000 years.
We'll just have to step up and work that much harder to help Captain Rydek.
It's gonna take all of us.
Talk to you later.
It is agreeable to see you again.
Ja, das ist ja also ein
Is that so?
tolles
It
Lob
was by no
eigentlich.
means a certainty that you would return to duty here.
No, it was not.
But it was my sincere hope you would.
It's great to be seen, boss. There were a few moments out there off the ship where I wasn't really sure we'd be making it back either. Everything here in engineering's kind of a sight for sore eyes.
Indeed. You should know your absence has left engineering terribly short-handed. During your sojourn, this department has fallen unacceptably behind schedule on both regular and irregular duties.
There's been a whole lot of irregularity going around.
Seems like you could use some help around here. We're ready to go to work.
I'd like to catch my breath for at least a few minutes, Carter.
Ja, oder auch nicht.
Normally, I would assign you to one of the many pressing repair tasks. But, given your experience on board the Zeldi, I have suggested you join the senior staff briefing as we determine our next course of action.
Hey!
You can commence your maintenance shift afterwards.
Crosstalk.
I tended to an Illydian earlier. Major Starlet Arminta.
Ah, yes. I met him at the negotiations.
I never would have imagined I'd be here, on the same ship, working together with our oppressors. But now that I am, I can imagine a future where the Hotari and Illydians are no longer enemies.
Ah, stimmt, den Konflikt gibt's ja auch noch.
I always hoped for peace, but it seems so far away. There's still a lot of bad blood.
Well, if there's any way I can help, let me know.
I'll take you up on that. It's good to have the support of a Starfleet captain, I'm sure.
Ja. Wird sich noch zeigen, ob wir wirklich noch Captain sind, wenn wir mit der Mission fertig sind.
I'll take it from here.
Oder ob Starfleet uns doch den Stecker zieht, weil wir uns vorher nicht rechtzeitig gemeldet haben. Da war doch was.
We're almost done.
I have to brief Ambassador Spock in a few minutes.
Ambassador Spock can wait. You have some fences to mend. Personally, I'm against the needless destruction of innocent life forms, so I'm glad you transported the Draconian crystals onto the ship. But Lieutenant Bedrosian obviously feels otherwise. And right now, you need the full support of your bridge crew. Being an effective leader requires trust, but an issue as divisive as this can create discord.
We all know I'm new to this, so it's nice to have your support.
Even when we don't agree or there's something I don't like, I'll let you know. But you'll always have my support.
Das ist fair.
It's been a chaotic last few days for everyone. You need to name a new first officer in preparation for what's coming. You'll have to work to regain Lieutenant Bedrosian's trust. But if she's removed from consideration, it comes down to Westbrook or Ermot. Obviously, there are pros and cons with each, but ultimately, the decision is yours. Commander Westbrook has seniority and was hoping to be Captain Solano's first officer. Ermot has the knowledge and experience that makes him more than qualified. You really couldn't go wrong with either of them.
Da müssen wir nochmal nachschauen. Wer ist denn hier wer? Ermot. Der schaut schon sehr zweifelnd. Oder Westbrook. Ich glaube, mit ihr, das ist wohl vorbei. Guck mal, wie sie schaut. Mäh. Und wenn man nach den Gesichtern geht, die werden, glaube ich, immer, je mehr sie einen ablehnen, umso zweifelnder gucken sie. Aber Commander Westbrook, der hat uns auf den Missionen begleitet und hat eine gute Figur gemacht. Deswegen würde ich, glaube ich, ihn bevorzugen.
At the moment, I'm leaning toward selecting Commander Westbrook as the new first officer.
That would be an excellent choice, considering your history. The crew would respect the fact you chose someone likely to challenge your opinions and present a different point of view. You're as good as new.
Thank you, Dr. Duvall.
Always nice to have a captive audience. You really shouldn't keep Ambassador Spock waiting.
Jetzt sind wir wieder aufgeladen. So wie hoffentlich jetzt für längere Zeit mein Controller.
I'll meet you inside.
Tja, das wird ein schwieriges Gespräch.
I'm here to officially tender my resignation from the crew of the USS Resolute.
Okay.
I cannot in good conscience continue to serve aboard this ship. Not while the interests of the enemy take precedent over the safety of the crew.
Lieutenant, we both know how much we need your help and expertise for the coming conflict. I have no one to replace you.
I understand, Captain, and I apologize, but my heart is not in it any longer, and to stay would be a disservice to us both.
My door is always open if you change your mind.
I appreciate that.
Ja, sorry. Vielleicht nimmt sie uns das doch noch übel, dass sie ihr Augenlicht verloren hat.
We'll have Ambassador Spock via subspace shortly.
Thank you, Mr. Armand.
I'll notify Lieutenant Bedrosian we're about to begin.
That won't be necessary.
Petty Officers Diaz and Edsalar have first-hand experience with our adversaries. I thought it advantageous for them to join this briefing. I understand this is unusual, but I trust you have no objections?
Talk about moving up in the world. Not that I'm surprised in the least.
Excellent idea, Mr. Chobak. They deserve to be here.
In all seriousness, what Diaz and Edsalar accomplished aboard the Zeldi is nothing short of remarkable. They're both to be commended, not only for surviving against incredible odds, but for helping our efforts against these scions.
You know, Carter deserves most of the credit.
Ach,
None of us would have made it without his help. We'd all be bioformed by this point.
There were way more people involved than just me. Not only Petty Officer Edsalar, but we had help from an Elydian officer named Arminta as well.
Interesting.
Ambassador Spock is ready for you.
Put him through.
Captain Reindeck, your recent change in station certainly warrants mention, and I trust you to faithfully execute your expanded duties.
Den Spock haben sie die Stimme echt gut gemacht, finde ich.
Keep our attention on the clear and present danger that lies ahead. The Takan and their warship. The closest populations are the Hotari and Elydian systems, and they are likely the first targets for mass bioforming. After that lies Federation space. I have advised Starfleet Command to send an impromptu battle group to intercept and assist you, but that will take time.
Hinten steht das Schachspiel, das ist ja cool.
Our first line of defense. And with our shield algorithms compromised, we are at a great disadvantage. Of course, you know that as well as I do.
I'm glad to hear the battle group is en route, Ambassador. With what we're up against, we're gonna need all the help we can get.
And you will have it.
Ja, wir sind also erstmal alleine.
Drawn from our ability to work together towards a common goal.
Have we made any progress in finding a way to defend ourselves from the Ophelion's bioforming weapon?
Currently, our shields will not protect us, but I am compiling all of the information the away team gathered on the Zeldi and cross-referencing it against our own as well as Portal 6-3's methods.
The away team is sitting right here. They survived without getting bioformed, so we know it's possible. So, what's the secret? How do we defend ourselves? Is there a weakness we can exploit? Something we can do to avoid getting bioformed?
I wish I could tell you the solution, but the truth is, there is no easy answer. There's no defense against bioforming, one-on-one or on a mass scale. At least, not that I know of.
Hat mir nicht gefallen, die Antwort.
But it might be possible to slow it down. It's too soon to say for sure, but we've had some promising indications that Diridium can delay the bioforming process.
Diridium?
It's not a cure. It's not going to bring anyone back we've already lost. But Duridium is a cell stabilizer, so it has the potential to slow down the onset of physical and mental changes, if not entirely prevent them. And it might be the only ship in the fleet with this much Duridium on hand.
I give it
In
up.
fact, a lot of ships wouldn't have any.
Also ich kann mit den Antworten 1 und 3 nichts anfangen, was ich damit sagen will.
You say that it slows the process, but this doesn't actually stop the Takan from taking over, does it?
Correct. I can't be 100% certain, but it appears this is only a short-term solution.
Ja, besser als
Also, it
nichts.
requires a much larger dose to be effective. We don't have enough Duridium on board to protect the whole crew. We barely have enough to protect everyone in this room.
Sounds like it won't do us much good then.
The use case I'd suggest is that it could buy a little time for an officer or a small group to complete a task or mission. But it has to be taken at the moment of exposure to the bioforming mechanism.
Prepare a delivery method for this remedy.
That raises the question. What is the mission?
Assuming the Aphelion uses shields of some kind, I don't expect it will be easy to bypass their defenses.
We may not be able to block the Aphelions' attack either. But if they do strike, we know their weapon uses transporter technology. We might be able to backtrack their signal path.
Like we did to evacuate Captain Rydek from Tau.
Exactly. We could send an away team onto the Aphelion.
So we could destroy it from the inside.
I'm not exactly sure how, but that's the idea.
I think Portal could still help us. If he can't get a first-hand look at the Aphelion, he might be able to identify a weakness.
After sparing the remnants of his civilization, I should hope he'd help us.
He will.
We'll need to prepare a boarding party, if it comes to that.
Petty Officers Edsalar and Diaz are the logical choices to lead any away mission to the Aphelion. They have already crippled one enemy ship. If anyone can do so again, it is them.
This isn't like the engineering mission that took you to the Zeldi. Do you really have some special insights that a tactical team wouldn't?
Doesn't the fact that we're here speak for itself?
Just surviving won't be enough this time.
We found that only a Takan can operate their technology to its fullest. So, unless we want to try to do this with one hand tied behind our backs, we're definitely gonna need an assist from this portal guy.
I like that even less.
Like it or not, that's the truth.
Yes. Portal should be part of the away team. There's no question in my mind.
If this is the necessary course of action, I support it.
I will compile all the latest data on the tricorders, just in case.
In the meantime, I want you working on ways we can combat the Takan tech. Shields, weapons, anything we can use.
Yes, Captain.
Anything else, Ambassador?
I know this matter is in capable hands. Hold the line as best you can. Help is on the way.
Thank you.
Ja, das war doch eine erfolgreiche Besprechung. Denn wenn man nicht mehr weiter weiß, dann bildet man einen Arbeitskreis.
I have faith in all of you to meet this moment with the urgency it requires. I expect all of us to give it everything we've got.
Oh, da lächeln jetzt alle mal, oder?
Thank you, Petty Officers Diaz and Edsalar. You're dismissed.
Wir sollten sie vielleicht vorher noch mal fördern.
While we have a quorum of senior staff, there is a procedural element we need to take care of. The Resolute command codes must be transferred to Captain Rydek for control of the ship.
Of course.
Computer, transfer all command codes to Captain Jara Rydek. Voice authorization Irma, Echo 4 Lima.
Voice authorization Duval, Beta 2, Yankee.
Voice authorization Westbrook, Alpha 7 Tango.
Awaiting your authorization, Captain.
Woher soll ich das jetzt wissen? Ist es die Codeabfrage? Alpha 7 Whiskey.
Voice authorization, Rydek. Alpha 7. Whiskey.
Captain's codes transfer. The updated command structure is incomplete. Please designate a new first officer.
Who is the new first officer?
Ja, sorry. Irmut wird mich hassen
Please
von diesem
designate
Moment.
a new first officer.
Ah ja, wir können doch zwischen den zwei wählen.
It is an honor and a pleasure to name Commander Westbrook as my new first officer.
Thank you, Captain. You made the right choice.
Ja, das meint der andere
Congratulations,
nicht.
Commander.
Aber der
It's
ist mir
long
immer zu schnell
overdue.
eingeschnappt.
I know we've had our differences, but I can't tell you how much I appreciate this.
Computer, Commander Westbrook is the new first officer of the USS Resolute.
Awaiting voice authorization.
Voice authorization Westbrook. Alpha 7 Tango.
Authorization is now complete.
Now, if you'll excuse me, there's work to be done.
Nicely done. I think that went well.
Captain, could I have a word with you?
Give me a minute.
Der ist
I
sicher
respect your
eingeschnappt.
decision, Captain. Commander Westbrook has seniority, and I can understand why you might have felt pressure to promote him. But what I can't understand is why you would choose someone so clearly unsuited for the position. It's the very reason why Captain Solano chose you over him. Because he knew Westbrook as first officer would be disastrous.
I know you're disappointed, but I trust his experience, and I need to rely on him now more than ever.
But that's just it. We can't afford to make any mistakes. And that's my concern with Commander Westbrook. Maybe I've had it wrong this whole time. But I thought we've had an excellent working relationship almost from the moment you first arrived.
Das Gefühl hatte ich eigentlich nie mit
Of course, I
ihm.
was insulted when you didn't trust me with the information about Captain Solano being compromised, but I've always supported you, which is certainly more than you can say about Westbrook. He was always against you, especially with regard to Captain Solano. I guess loyalty counts for nothing with you.
Listen, I value your opinion more than just about anyone's. I rely on it. And if we're going to beat Galvin, I'll need your help now more than ever. So please, don't be discouraged.
I'll be fine. Just give me some time.
Ja, er ist doch immer noch auf der Brücke und hat da einen wichtigen Posten. Also bitte. Eingeschnappt hier. Mi. Oh. Line of Fire. Ja, bevor es damit weitergeht, schauen wir doch mal, wie wir uns geschlagen haben. Ah, da gucken sie alle. Lieutenant Bradosian felt conflicted after Jara's efforts to be conciliatory when she suddenly tendered her resignation back aboard the Resolute. Commander Westbrook was surprised, overjoyed and relieved to finally be named first officer of the USS Resolute. Tyler was grateful for Jara's support and offered to help forge peace with the Illyrians when they discussed the matter in sickbay. Commander Ermut was bitterly disappointed he was not named the new first officer, but he took some solace in Jara's kind words of support and encouragement. So schaut er aber nicht. Dr. Duval was inspired by Jara's humility. Dr. Duval felt inspired by Jara's humility and her situational awareness after she transported the Draconian crystals aboard the Resolute. Portal 6-3 appreciated Jara's empathy when he was overwhelmed by feelings of the loss inside the Dracon vault. He was internally grateful when Jara transported the Draconian crystals from the vault to the Resolute. Despite his obvious animosity, Sidran begrudgingly respected Jara's decision to protect her crew at the expense of the Draconian lives, but still blamed her for blatantly manipulating Portal 6-3. Schauen wir bei Carter. Also originally against it, Major Arminta was thankful and not upset after Carter saved Itatska's life. After Carter's heroics aboard Exceldi, Lieutenant Commander Chowak was pleased to find him agreeable and willing to get back to work. Lieutenant Itatska was grateful Carter saved her life and gained a new understanding of the Federation's perspective. Und damit geht's dann in der nächsten Episode weiter. Machen wir an dieser Stelle also lieber erstmal ein kleines Päuschen und ich hoffe, es hat euch gefallen und wir sehen uns das nächste Mal.